Begin on your back with your left leg out straight and your right leg bent so that your right knee is directly on top of your right hip. Now you're going to do circles. The movement is actually coming from the hip, but it's going to look like the knee is the part of your body that's actually moving. But this is actually all the hip muscles doing this work: the hip flexor, the inner thigh, the outside of the hip. Make sure that you hit all four corners. So you're going to hit up and in, up and out, down and in, down and out. Go ahead and switch directions, same leg. We're doing 30 seconds on each leg, trying to balance everything out. Try to keep your breathing relaxed. That left leg can be straight, but it doesn't really have to be doing anything. You can keep it relaxed. Just stay fluid with that right leg, making those circles. Left leg relaxing the entire time. We're just about ready to switch legs, so let's just do a couple more and then we'll switch. Okay, go ahead and switch now. So same thing here, right leg is straight, left leg is bent. Circling all four corners, and then you're smoothing it out into a circle. So up and in, up and out, down and out, down and in. If you're really tight, it's probably going to be easier to do the out motion than it is to go in. Okay, and let's switch directions. So still with the left leg, switching directions, rotating in now. Still making sure you get fully around that hip socket, drawing circles with your knee. Almost done. Get ready for the next exercise, coming right up. Okay, and we're still on our backs. Bring your arms up so that your elbows are the same level as your shoulder and your fingertips point straight up to the ceiling. And then you're going to hinge off of your arms so that your hands go closer to the floor and your elbows stay right where they are. So the lower body's relaxed with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. Try to relax your breathing. You're just bringing your arms down toward the floor and coming back up. If there's a lot of tension in the shoulder or especially in the neck, you don't want to force the motion down. You want to feel like this is pretty easy movement. You don't really want to force anything. You want to maybe gently nudge it, gently push, try to increase the range of motion if you're not touching the floor, but this should not feel like you're forcing. If you feel any tightness, then you can even shorten up the range of motion a little bit. So we're just about ready to switch here into the next exercise. Interlace your hands out in front of you, elbows straight, palms together. Relax your lower body with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. There should be a little bit of tension in your triceps. Those are the muscles that are keeping your arms straight. And there even should be a little bit of tension in your wrist, but other than that, there's nothing. Once you hit the end of your range of motion, you just want to stop and come right back to the start. If you cannot touch the floor, that's okay. You don't want to force it. You want to go as far as you can comfortably. So if your hands are a couple inches from the floor, eventually your shoulders will loosen up and you'll be able to touch the floor, but it's going to be no more difficult than it is right now. That's the key concept in this exercise, that it's going to be easy, that you're not forcing anything. There's really not much muscle engagement other than that elbow tricep engagement and the little bit in the wrist to keep the palms together. Go ahead and switch the grip. So if your right thumb was over your left, switch it so your left is over your right now, or vice versa. This grip may not feel as comfortable. You're probably not used to doing this grip. We want to make sure we balance everything though. So we need to work both grips. The fact that it's not as comfortable should also be telling us that you do need to work it because it's deficient compared to the other side. Everything else is the same in this form on this side. So elbows straight, palms together, relax the lower body, try to relax your breathing. Just about done with this side. And then after this, we're going to move into more integrative exercises. We're going to do some upper and lower body coming right up. Still on your back, arms down at the side, legs straight, and you're going to lift up the left leg and the right arm, and then lower them back down, and then lift your right leg and left arm. Just a nice steady pace. You're not trying to push the pace at all. What we're going for here is balance. So when you lift up the right arm, left leg, it should feel the same as if you lift up the left arm, right leg. The two sides should be almost identical. Whatever you can do on the right side, you should also be able to do on the left. So we're creating a cross connection here, a cross pattern, which is exactly what happens when you walk. When you take a step with your left foot, you also bring your right hand forward. When you take a step with your right foot, you bring your left hand forward. So we're trying to rebalance that because a lot of things we do have cross patterns. And the next exercise is a more advanced cross pattern. Now we're going to start with our arms above our head. We're going to bring our leg up, keeping the leg all the way straight, and then crunching up toward that leg with the opposite arm. So ideally, you're going to touch your toe with your finger. If you cannot touch your toe, there are two ways to get closer. You can either bring your leg closer to you. Ideally, you get all the way up to 90 degrees. See how that leg right there is 90 degrees? Right there. That hip is 90 degrees when you come up. The second way to get closer is to crunch up higher. So the stronger your abdominals get, the more tension they'll be able to create, and the higher up you can get. If there's any strain in your neck, feel free to put one hand behind your head. So whatever hand you're not reaching with, put that hand behind your head. And some more abdominal work. We're going to do the static full sit-up with nothing holding your feet. So keep your back arched. Keep your feet and knees just a couple inches apart from each other, maybe 3 or 4 inches apart. Interlace your hands behind your head and pull your elbows way, way back. So there should be a bit of tension in your upper back. Now get your back in the position that it would be in if you were sitting up really tall, really straight. If you feel your lower back is rounding, then you may have to come up closer. You may have to move forward a little bit to keep that arch. Also play around with the balance with your feet. You may have to move your feet away from or toward you in order to find that balance. I know this is a hard one. We're just about done. Got about 5 more seconds here. And let's go to the next exercise. And this is the last exercise in our core balance program. Superman, you're lying on your stomach, arms out in front, legs back. Squeeze your glutes, lift up your hands, lift up your feet, and just hold this position. Now as you're here, you're going to have a lot of pressure down on your belly. Make sure you can still breathe. Try to relax your breathing, especially as it gets harder and harder, holding your legs and arms up. Try to keep this work in the glutes, the back, the hamstrings, and the shoulders. If you feel anything in the neck, you have a couple options. You can either drop your head, or you can put a little pillow underneath your forehead to kind of support some of the weight of your head. Almost done here. Got about 5 more seconds. And we are done. Excellent work today. Either you can do another program, another 10-minute program, or we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.